is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Good evening, everyone, and we're happy to bring you week 2 of the Mid-Del Coaches Show, looking back at week 0 of football action here and looking ahead to week 1 action. And we're very happy to be joining you from Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City. You should come here. Really, any day is a good day to come to Bricktown Brewery and eat. One particular really good day to come and eat is Wednesdays, because that's when their pizza is half price. So tomorrow, if you're not sure where you want to go eat, Bricktown Brewery should be your place right here in Midwest City. Also, be sure to download the Bricktown Brewery app, and you can make some orders through there, collect points, and start getting discounts on whatever your favorite dish is here at the Brick. And also, we are happy to have this show sponsored by Tooney Buys Houses. Of course, they're brought to you by Tooney Buys Houses. Channing Chamberlain is a Midwest City graduate who's very supportive of what we do, broadcasting sports here in the Mid-Del community. We thank him. Tooney Buys Houses. We buy and renovate homes. We lease and own or finance homes. And there's a phone number to call. And be sure to give them your business. Tooney Buys Houses. Okay, let's go ahead and talk first Midwest City Bomber football. And I'm happy to be joined by the defensive coordinator of Midwest City. That is, of course, Tyler Cade. All right, Coach, so when we look back, your team fell short to Piedmont 13-0. But there's a lot of positives about your defense, and how would you grade your defensive performance last week?
And that's a good question. We graded out every position. Some were B, some were C. So I'd say overall I'd give the defense a B+. You know, there's 3 plays that really hurt us early on in the red zone. We should have got that guy tackled, but instead he got in the end zone. And then later on we gave up a flea flicker late in the game, but we were able to hold him to a field goal. So there's times that, you know, they could have got, a touchdown, but we held them to field goals. So I was really proud of our defense, the way they bowed up in the red zone and held them to 13. You know, our goal every week is 17 or less, so we held them to 13 or less, and we just got to continue to get better. They're a unique offense compared to what we see. You know, we see more spread. They're an option team, so it was a good test, and I was really proud of the way our guys showed up and handled it.
Yeah, to add some more context to what happened in that game, their third score, a field goal, came because of a special teams turnover.
Yes.
It was not on the defense at all.
Yes.
So you basically gave up 2 scoring drives in the first half, and that was it.
Yes, sir.
So I thought the best thing you did well is you shut down their inside running game, and that wasn't for them lack of trying. They tried, and you guys held the line there. I think that led to a lot of your stops when you were able to force punch. You even got a turnover there. What do you attribute to that, the inside play that worked?
Our D tackles and our inside linebackers. You know, we preached all week about tackling about tackling the dive, making sure we took away their first key guy. And so I thought they did a really good job with it. We mixed in some different fronts to give the centers and guards some different looks. And I thought our interior D linemen did a great job of controlling those A and B gaps. And then, like you mentioned, the turnover at the end, that was huge. That gave us some more momentum. They were kind of driving. We had to check to a little bit different front, our goal line front. AB was able to come off the edge and hit the quarterback and cause a fumble. So that was huge for us. To me, that was one of the big positives of the game, getting that turnover in the beginning of the fourth quarter to give our offense time to go score.
And then one thing they did better, Piedmont, was the outside run. Mm-hmm. Some of that may have been the quarterback, his handoff. I thought when he faked the handoff or kept it, it was pretty effective. Mm-hmm. What was your message to your team about that?
Yeah, that was one thing. We had certain guys assigned to the quarterback, and they just weren't getting there in time. They were a step behind. They were getting guards, so we were kind of telling them to fix their alignment to get to the quarterback better. That and what we call a jet sweep, the quick handoff, getting outside. You know, it's hard to simulate that with our scout team guys, but we saw real speed in the game, and we adjusted better on later, setting the edge. But, yeah, we got to do a better job of playing the quarterback in those especially those 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s where he pulled it. We got to be there to stop him.
And then the flea flicker that did lead to a field goal with 1 second left. They had 1 second to kick a field goal after running a couple plays. Yep. And against Piedmont, that obviously is not something you prepare for necessarily as much. So did you feel like that was just a good call on their part mostly? Yes
and no. We worked a lot of because they're going to run the option 100 times and they're going to throw a deep ball on you with one of those slot guys. And so, to be honest with you, our safety, he had his eyes in the wrong spot. His slot just takes straight off. He knew that if his man takes straight off, he's going to man him up. So we had some bad eyes in the backfield, eyes not on our key. Situational football, we got to be better at that, knowing there's 20 seconds, whatever it was, 20, 30 seconds, balls on the 40, 50. They got to throw it to make something happen. So, our safety's got to do a better job with their eye discipline, and we're going to get that fixed.
And you mentioned your D tackles. I mean, you get to play some of the best linemen that you guys have in the Jones twins and Junior, who plays nose guard a lot for you. And, of course, they have to rotate it at the offensive line. How do you feel like that win? I mean, do you feel like you got him in as much as you wanted on defense?
Yeah, especially early on. One of our goals, we have a lot of senior D linemen. So I tell our defensive line coaches I want to play 12 D linemen or more because we have like 15 over there. So I always tell them, hey, get a good rotation of 8 to 12 guys. Like you mentioned, the Jones twins and Junior, they're going to take a ton of offensive snaps. So it's key that those 2s and 3s get in there and do their job. And they did the other night. Brody Maddox, Roderick Dixon, those guys got in there and got after it. And those are the guys I'm going to lean on going the next couple of weeks because obviously the other guys are going to play more offense and get their cardio right.
All right, let's bring in one of the seniors from Midwest City here, Aiden Brown. All right, and Aiden, I'm going to turn you up here. Okay, Aiden, first question, of course, is this. 0? Number 0, huh? We're so used to you being 24, and now I got to reacclimate here. I should have that down within 2 or 3 weeks. Why the number switch?
I've always liked that number, and when Coach Hall said that we had the jersey, we just got it this year. Mm-hmm. So I'll be the first to ever wear it in Midwest City history. So I thought that would be cool.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
First ever.
I think the high school finally started allowing the 0 number last year or two.
And it doesn't have to go to a particular position, I take it.
No, we did actually. We voted on as a staff. We said who's been here the most, who works their butt off, and Aiden Brown was that guy.
Okay, we may start calling you Agent Zero some.
Yes, sir.
So you also play the Viper position. Yes, By the way, if people think that's creative for defense, Piedmont, their defensive line I think was called Hammer, Nail, and a couple other things. All that creativity is on defense now. You don't see that on offense quite as much since the Wildcat thing. But anyway, Viper position, how would you describe it?
The Viper position is more of a hybrid for our defense. It's a position that can cover. Mm-hmm. It's a run filler. It's a whatever. It's a glue guy wherever we need it at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how do you feel like you did? Again, Piedmont, you remember them from 2 years ago now. Of course, they exploded that game. They scored 60-plus points. So only 13. But this game, how do you feel about how you performed?
I had a couple plays I wish I had back.
Okay.
But overall, like Coach K said, I graded out about a C. There was a few sparks of good plays, like the forced fumble, a couple of good solo tackles, but overall, I'm pretty hard on myself. I want to do better.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a senior, do you take more? I don't know if the defense doesn't really huddle much necessarily, but do you still take command on the field? How vocal are you with your teammates?
I'm pretty vocal. When we see a couple formations on film and we know what they're going to do in them, I'll make sure to let everybody know. But Kewan Landrum also does a really good job.
I was going to say, I can't imagine too many people being more vocal than him.
He is.
Okay, well, this has been your senior year. You're going to start looking at colleges. I thought I overheard Coach K talk about you might be visiting one here soon.
Yes, sir. I got 2 game day visits scheduled for UCO and SNU.
Okay, 2 good options. We'll keep you nearby. You can hopefully come around here, and of course, you're still going to wrestle?
Oh, yes, sir, of course.
So you and Coach Kate will see even more of each other at that point. For sure. All right, so we're going to talk about Carl Albert coming up here, and they haven't played a game yet, but they have had scrimmages. I'm sure you got to see some of them, and you're familiar with some of the big names here. But also they're going to be new at some positions. So what's the thought process in preparing for the Titans?
We're actually very excited because we were preparing for an option team the last 3 weeks, so now we get to really run our true defense, what we did all spring, all during summer camp, our different fronts that match a spread offense. Instead of trying to get everything in the box, now we get to get everybody out of the box and get our pass rush going, get our linebackers in coverage, get our safeties picking balls off. So we're excited for the challenge. They're the number one team in 5A. We know we can hang with them. We know we can hang with them. They got 2 great receivers, and we'll have a plan for them, but we feel like the line of scrimmage, we're very veteran in our line of scrimmage with our linebackers and our defensive line, and I feel like we will have the advantage in the trenches when we go on Friday night.
That is kind of the unknown, and I'll talk to one of the Carl Albert announcer about that soon. That is probably where they're maybe most inexperienced stats on the O-line.
Yes, sir.
So, but Aiden, what do you think? I know the Titans, of course, being a rival, and you played well when you played there 2 years ago, and then Xavier Robinson just kind of came out of nowhere and blew things up. But what do you think about the Titans in preparation for them?
We know we're familiar with them. We know they're a good team, and we know we're good too. So we're going to go out there, and we're not laying nothing down. We're going to go bring it to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I noticed about Carl Albert last year, because you mentioned the receivers, that would be Tristan Haynes and Trinae Washington. They're committed to go to OU. Even though Tristan's on defense at OU, he was still a dynamic offensive player. You would think that they're going to get the ball to them in space, maybe some bubble screen stuff. Are you preparing for the basically the short stuff and whether they try to get yards after the catch, I assume? Yeah,
and they do a good job with their quarterback of RPOing it. He does a great job of reading the outside backer where he'll give it or pull it and throw that quick slant to those guys. Then, like you said, they have all their screen game off of it. And then when you think you're getting the screen, they're going to throw it deep ball to number 7. So we're prepared for all aspects. Like AB said earlier, a lot of formations tell you what's coming, and the down and distance and formation kind of give you an idea what's coming. And that's where this group, as older players, they do a great job of talking, communicating, giving tendencies of what's going to come. They're going to get in their wildcat stuff. They're going to get in a heavy package, and especially when it's short yards of goal line, even they don't have number 22 anymore, they'll still have that package. So you got to be ready for 2-back, heavy packages, spread packages. And I feel like we're built for that, and I feel like we're more built for this than we are for the option. So I'm truly excited to get after it Friday.
So Aiden, when you're watching the game, when you're in the sidelines watching the offense kind of struggle a bit here and there, are you like, hey, put me in? Like, because you haven't played a whole lot of offense, I don't think. Do you have a position just in case?
I haven't played a whole lot of offense, but I always when I see that happen, I always want to go in just being a football player. But, I got to trust my guys too, and I know they can get it done. We got some guys.
Well, and I'm sure the snaps have been worked on plenty, and feel like that'll be better, and the receivers will be a little bit more prepared. I know that's not on your side of the ball, but I'm sure you're seeing that in practice. And I mean, those are very fixable things.
Oh yeah, and that was like you said, we had pretty much one scrimmage, and then we jumped into a real game, and so we had to get those jitters out. And I think that's nothing to our advantage. We've played a real 4-quarter game. Carl Albert hasn't, and so you got to know what it's like to be in game shape and not make those mental errors. When it gets tight. And I think we'll fix our stuff. But I think we have an advantage of already having a game under our belt.
One more thing to think about for this game that's interesting is that, and this may not mean much to you, Aiden, but you get a bye week the following week. I don't know if that changes how many snaps players can get. You feel like, hey, you can drain them a little bit more, or if that's not even something you'll think about.
Well, our D-line, we'll rotate them. They're not leaving the field. Like the linebackers, the linebackers are going to play every snap. The ones, our D-line will rotate, but as far as busy with our back end, our linebackers, they're going to play every defensive snap unless we got to drag them off. And like you said, we have a bye week coming up. We're going to have 9 to 10 days to rest up and get ready for Del City. We're going to change our weekend up a little bit, give them a Sunday off to recover and kind of be kids and go out and enjoy it. But we're going to do it after a victory. So our plan is go get a win and then enjoy your time off.
And then one more thing you mentioned about the game. You did mention that you guys got a move in at safety that you are excited about.
Yes.
And his name's Christian, I believe.
Oh, Christian is our linebacker running back, and our safety is Chance Davis.
Okay, so we
got 2 of them moving, 2 men.
Right. So Chance, who goes by Bubba.
Yes.
And he played last week. Christian, the linebacker, was the one who
Yes, he did not play. As far as I know, he's going to be good to go. As far as I know, and he'll help us on offense and defense.
He'll play running back.
Yep. Play some linebacker, running back, and wherever else we need him. We're excited to have him addition and Chance or Bubba Davis. We've been calling him. He's been a great addition for us as far as on the back end and that receiver, and he's a great kid.
Well, I'm glad you got another running back to throw in there because, I don't want to see Jaheim get worn out.
You could tell last week we needed one. No.
Yeah. Well, just to give him a breather.
Just to give him a spell. Yeah, he gave everything he had. He gave it all.
Yeah, maybe not be an option at safety right now.
Yeah.
But may not need him.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a fun question. Thursday is the beginning of the NFL season. Do you guys have a Super Bowl pick?
I know who he's going to pick, always. You know,
Always with the Chiefs.
he's a Chiefs man. He's a
Okay.
Mahomes man. Now, I'm a Bronco fan, so this is my rival right here. But we got Bo Nix, and he's going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I'm going to
Offensive
take,
Rookie of the Year.
I'm going to have to take that, you know. So no, that's mine. I'm a diehard Broncos. He's diehard Chiefs. So
Okay. Well, unfortunately, just a few years ago, you've had all the bragging
I know.
rights
Yes.
when they had Peyton Manning, and then
Yeah.
and then Pat Mahomes comes to the
He
Chiefs.
did.
Okay, so you feel good about the Chiefs getting a three-peat.
Always. I never
Okay.
bet against the Chiefs.
You know what? I mean, I've been in Oklahoma my whole life. I didn't know that many Chiefs fans until recently. I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
I've been a Chiefs fan since like elementary school, like little bitty.
Since elementary school, so who'd you like? Kelsey, maybe?
I was
favorite
a
player?
super Alex Smith fan.
There
Like,
you
when
go.
he broke his leg,
Oh.
I was hurt for a while.
That was painful. He did that when he
Yes.
was with Washington.
Yep.
Okay, well, guys, this was great. So, again, Carl Albert is the opponent, and Midwest City will be looking forward to, maybe getting a little bit of revenge. They lost the last two games, or they played Carl Albert, and this game will be at Rose Stadium, not Rose Field, at Carl Albert High School. 7 o'clock kickoff time. Please watch the Midwest City feed. I promise we'll have a great camera shot this time, which with technology issues prevented us from this past game. Tom Crawford and myself will be bringing you the action, and we can't wait. Midwest City and Carl Albert will renew their rivalry, and then a bye week for the Bombers, and then Del City and then the district play. So a lot to look forward to. Coach Aiden, thank you very much. So we'll look forward to seeing you out there on the field.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, we'll talk more high school football right here. It's the Middle Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back.
Chicken strips. Chicken strips. Chicken strips.
Ranch, ranch, ranch. Ranch. Buffalo. Buffalo. Ranch. Monterey Jack cheese.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich. A beautiful masterpiece.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Del teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
All right, welcome back here for the Middale Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And right now I get to talk Carl Albert football with a coach, but he's actually the announcer. He's a swimming coach, but the football announcer, Kirk Norman, about Carl Albert's upcoming season as they are about to start their first game. That's this coming Friday against Midwest City. All right, Kirk, I mean, you've been around the Carl Albert football program for a while. I want to take a look back, and I may ask Coach Dunn this whenever I have a chance to talk with him, but last year's team, I mean, one way you can sum them up, they had not had a commit to OU since back in 2002, J.D. Rollins, a scholarship commit. I know they've had some preferred walk-ons. And then we didn't know it at the time during the season, but they ended up having 5 commits because Tristan Haynes committed in May to OU. And that's one way to sum up that team. 5 OU commits. That's amazing. I've never heard of any Oklahoma high school having that before.
Well, it's always good. Anytime you can have any D1 commits to anywhere, it doesn't matter if it's OU or any other D1 school. When you've got a D1 commit, it means that somebody has said they're good enough to be out there, they're good enough to be playing, they're good enough to one of the things you find with a lot of the D1 commits is just the issue of they're intentional, they're there to learn, they're working on their craft. They're not just out there playing football, and I think that makes a huge difference when you have those on the team. And of course, we were fortunate, basically, and I hate to use the word skill positions because I was a lineman, and I think that the linemen have a great amount of skill as well. But they're just the big guys that run it through the middle. But the skill positions all across the field were just filled with D1 commits last year. It's hard to imagine that until you actually see it out there all together.
And most of them were two-way players.
Absolutely.
So you saw that on both sides of the ball. Even X played some on defense to Xavier Robinson.
Right.
And so
actually, he played this last week, OU versus Temple. He played on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, I'm glad he's getting on there.
Yeah.
As he's going to have some of his old teammates join him next year.
Right.
But then also one more last thing about that team, just to talk about, especially just they had so many other good players. Just think of the name Easton.
Right.
So Easton Harless was such a great linebacker.
Yeah. Easton Collier.
And then the Easton's on the offensive line.
Right.
Tanner Norman.
Right.
So just quality senior class in that team going 14-0 and beating a Del City team that was loaded as well.
Yes.
And holding them to their lowest point total, scoring 35 points against them. It's just an all-time team that will be hard to forget.
Absolutely. It was a good team. It was a great team to be able to call because there was a lot of excitement that was happening on the field all the time. So
yeah, and you had that one. You got your one barn burner in.
Right.
And the regular season and everything else was they just took care of business.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so let's look ahead to this team now. Because of some schedule changes, they get to play. They had 2 scrimmages because they don't have to play their first game until week 1, which is this Friday, of course. And a lot of things are going to be different. Kevin Sperry moves to Texas to be close to his mom.
Right.
So quarterback will be new, running back will be new, offensive line will be new. We'll talk more about the defense. Was there much to see in these scrimmages? Because I know you went to both and put one on the streaming as far as who looks like they'll be a new up-and-coming player for them.
I think there's a lot to see anytime you have a scrimmage, especially, and you've already alluded to it, especially with kind of a new offensive line. We talked about last year, that was a senior-laden line. And but those young men were playing JV ball, the ones that are playing varsity this year. And so it's not like they weren't getting any time, any real live snaps. They were getting live snaps. They were just getting it on the JV side. And a part of that is what's so important in regard to Carl Albert is the process. You want to be a part of the process and learn the process. And so you have the opportunity to work with those same coaches and grow up in the system. So, yes, we've got a young offensive line this year, and that's one of the things that you want to see. You can go out and you can work and work and work and practice, but until you go live one-on-one, you know that there's things that are happening that you don't necessarily practice for. However, footwork is important. you can practice for that. You can do that in live, and you can do that in scrimmage, and you can do that in practice. So that's what they're doing, is trying to get these young men to where they actually have an opportunity to be playing live ball and seeing the way it's coming and seeing the way it's happening, and it's not just exactly the way we thought it was going to be. So a lot of times things just aren't, you don't draw it up, and that's the way it works every time. So getting any kind of live play makes a huge difference. It was a good scrimmage against Sand Springs. The Sandites came in here. They're a good team. They're not a bad team at all. And they came in, and we had a little scrimmage work at the beginning, and then we played a half. And it was a good scrimmage and a good way to get some people involved and see the things that we need to see to move down and get ready for Midwest City. We have been playing 0 weeks for the last several years, so not playing this week just gave us another opportunity to continue to work on the process.
Well, the last time you didn't play week 0 was, I believe, 3 years ago, Coach Dunn's first year.
That's right.
And you started out at Midwest City, and Midwest City won that game. And I thought the reason was that the offensive line for Carver just wasn't ready, and so you still had Bazell at running back, and you had Reed DeQuazy at quarterback was brand new, but they couldn't get going. And I watched that team throughout the year. It was just a matter of not if but when the offensive line started to gel.
Exactly.
So that's the one, but maybe opening for Midwest City.
Right. It could be. It could be.
Or they could get figured out right away.
That's why they start that clock and they keep snapping that ball. We'll see.
And how did the quarterback look? I don't remember his name, but I believe one of at least one leading candidates was an Air Force commit, moving from Edmond Santa Fe.
Yeah, he actually did not start at quarterback.
Okay.
Again, it's kind of like we were talking about, being a part of that system, understanding what Coach Johnson is wanting, and he is an incredible athlete. His name is Daniel Newton. You're going to see a lot of him on the field. He's a great all-around athlete. When he takes the ball, and he is a downhill runner, and he is 6 foot, 200 pounds. He won't back up from anybody, and just a great young man. Obviously, as an Air Force recruit, you don't get into any of the military academies by being a guy that doesn't take care of business, and so he takes care of his business. The players have rallied around him. And he's going to be a great athlete for Carl Albert this year.
And, of course, he's going to Air Force as primarily a safety.
That's right.
I believe. So we'll definitely see him on that side. And we'll
Absolutely.
talk about that in a minute. Running back-wise, Caden Davis, I think, was the backup last year.
Right.
Was he getting a lot of handoffs? Or I know they want to rotate guys right now.
Yeah, we're going to rotate and keep people fresh on the field because Caden also plays on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Caden is a very good another guy who's taken on that role of leadership this year and, does everything from make sure that the locker room's clean all the way to making sure everybody's in position when the play is called. So just a hard runner. Coach Goff and I have had the opportunity now to see him come up through the program, and I don't mind saying he's one of those guys that just has all kinds of heart. And now that has begun to really come about, and he's turning out to be an incredible running back for Carl Albert.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of good running backs that have come through Carl Albert.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'll just see how often he's on the field because you rely on him so much on defense. You running back could wear him out, but I know that's why you get other guys out there. And then receiver wise, obviously that's where they got the big names. And if you throw in Marcus as a tight end, Marcus James,
right?
And I mean, I don't know what else you can say about Tristan and Trinae, but obviously you would think that a lot will be on the table as far as how to get them the ball.
Yeah,
in the open
talent.
Field. Yeah,
they're just loaded with talent, and both Haynes and Washington both are just exceptional athletes. Very fast, great hands, have a great awareness around them. And you just want to get them the ball as much as you can.
And then on the defensive side, I do remember Trinae played kind of moved to safety during the season.
Yep.
So when you were doing the scrimmages, was he playing there primarily? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's where he was playing, and there were others as well, and there's a lot of guys that have had to step up this year. And there's a lot of young athletes that are doing a great job at stepping up as well. And so you're going to see this is one of those years, when you, just like we said earlier, when you have a great senior class that graduates, then you've either got to step back 2 years or step back in. And this junior class, they were juniors last year and are seniors this year. And then that sophomore class, there's a really strong sophomore class that is coming up. And so this is just one of those years we're going to have to rely on some of the younger guys to step in and do their job and be a Titan.
So, and I know who's going to play cornerback. I know that was Oku an option.
Yeah.
And James, I remember his first name. It's not Tayshawn, obviously, because he's at Iowa State or was last year.
Todd James.
Todd James, okay.
Right.
I know they had some other – plenty of other speed. It's not just the OU commits.
Absolutely. When you say speed, I mean, the first person I think of is Christian Oku. He may be the fastest guy on the field,
right.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
And again, he's come up through the system. The Oku name is a long-time name for Carl Albert as well, and he's just playing very good ball right now. Did a great job at the scrimmage at both scrimmages. And he's really coming along.
Okay, so we got Marcus, definitely a linebacker.
Right.
But what are they going to do with Caden on defense? Because he's been both the linebacker and on the defensive line.
He's been playing the linebacker position a little bit more this year. And we've got some guys that have stepped up into the hole on the defensive line. Another guy, Joe Thomas, he's a junior, number 57.
There's a name.
He's one of those guys that I've said this before. Joe has incredible heart, has just a motor that runs hard all the time, and he's one of those guys that he's always going to be around the play. Yeah. And that's what you want, especially early on. You just want people that are out there giving all their effort, and Joe's given a lot of effort in these first two scrimmages.
All right, so again with Midwest City,
LeBron Royale. I didn't want to leave out that name as well.
I remember him from basketball.
Yeah, LeBron Royale, number 58. He's in there doing a great job on the defensive line as well, and making a lot of plays, blocking up the middle, and is just another guy that is showing up. And you have to look at the system, and Jordan, you know this, but one of the things, people talk about all the athletes that come through Carl Albert, and I always try to remember that there is one consistent to all of that, and that's the coaching staff.
Yes.
And this coaching staff has been together for a long time with Coach Johnson at the offensive coordinator. Herbert now is a defensive coordinator, and he took it over from Mike Corley when Mike Corley was the head coach. You've got a Hall of Fame coach in Clarence Madden who works the offensive line. And so, yes, it may take some time, but the way that Oklahoma high school football is set up, we get a little time. You got to go win those district games and get into the playoffs, and you got to win 4 weeks in a row, and you end up with a gold ball. So,
which they've done so many times. So Midwest City, first game, I think it's good for Midwest City they already played because they had some self-inflicted wounds that are very fixable.
Absolutely.
Is that kind of what you would expect to see, that they will tighten things up and to make this a very competitive game?
I believe so. And, anybody will tell you between game 1 and game 2 is the largest growth that you're going to see in a team because they've been there, they've been in it, they've spent 4 quarters, in the trenches and out on the outsides, and the coaching staff then has the opportunity to kind of catch them and say, okay, listen, this is what happened. And losing a scrimmage, who cares? But losing a game, that goes in forever.
That stinks.
And that stinks. And so you've got everyone's attention, and so now it's just going to be an opportunity to come in. we know that they've got 1 week up in regard to one game already in the books, and so we expect them to be better. And so we expect our players to come out and play hard, play with attention, and go strong against Midwest City.
And then there's the interesting schedule. So you got to go to Lawton.
Right.
You got to go to Stillwater. Now, the Stillwater game, I can't wait to follow that game because Stillwater's obviously been a power in 6A2. Lawton Eisenhower's now in 6A2. And then just a very different type of district they're in than years past. No more McGinnis or Piedmont.
Right.
We still have Guthrie. Still, I was going to get to that. That'll be like the new marquee game. But what do you? I would imagine you're looking forward to some of these new opponents like Noble. I think they're back, but you've done a game at Noble last year, but not against the Bears.
No,
and I've never seen a high school team that was so much tougher at home compared to the road than the Noble Bears.
Yep.
So then that's one of the road games coming up for Carl Albert. But what any thoughts you have about this new schedule?
I think it's good, I think you can get too complacent and you can decide how things are going to turn out before you get there when you're in that same schedule over and over and over again. Sometimes that can work to your benefit, and I'm always thinking about McGinnis in particular. It did not matter if McGinnis beat us or we beat them in the regular season. They never beat us in a state championship. And so that was always at play. And so it was always, there are those kind of mental games that you can kind of play with yourself. But really, it's just a matter of lining up across from the next guy and let's go play football. And we'll put our goods against your goods. We're going to put our game plan against your game plan, and we'll see how it comes out.
Arena will be another new district opponent, but that was your playoff opponent 2 of the last 3 years in the first round, so not a new team totally. I'm already mentioned Noble, but the one constant seems to always be Guthrie. So week 9 at the Rock, you figure that would be the game probably.
Right.
Good chance anyway that will be determining a district champion again.
Hey, I'll be the first one to tell you, I was a little bit shocked when I saw the point or the game come out at Guthrie this last week. And Guthrie goes down.
I didn't see that.
And because Guthrie is actually returning. They were a little bit of a younger team this past year.
Right.
A very good team, but so that's going to be, a tough game. Playing Guthrie is always a tough game. We've always had that hard rivalry there. And playing at the Rock, we're outside. We're doing our broadcast outside. We're right in the middle of the crowd. And that's always fun. I just have to be honest. It's a lot of fun. So having coached on the sidelines, I did have the opportunity to be on the sidelines 14 through 16, and there's about 8 feet of sidelines at Guthrie. That's it. And then you've got a rock wall. And so it's a great atmosphere, and we've been fortunate to come out on top several times.
Well, Midwest City's off that week, so may make it a point to come see.
Yeah, absolutely.
See the Rock for the first time as a varsity game. I've been there once for a middle school game, not the same. All right. Well, and by the way, you mentioned broadcasts. Year 6 for you, but year 3 with Coach Goff as your partner. And
absolutely.
I think you guys have developed a good chemistry. I can tell you guys have a lot of fun.
We do. We have a lot of fun. Coach Goff, he's been coaching for over 40 years, and sometimes he gets a little excited in the booth. And he sees things, I think, well before they even happen. And it's always good to have somebody that's got that kind of knowledge, and he loves to explain and loves to share that knowledge with the people that are watching. So I'm just fortunate to kind of get to follow along, and all I've got to do is regurgitate what I'm seeing on the field, and all is good. So,
well, I can't wait to see how you guys do for this whole season. Obviously, for the game coming up, I wouldn't mind if you tune into the Midwest City feed, but of course I know the Carl Albert Titan fans love Coach K and Coach Goff, so they'll also be on pregame 6:30, kickoff 7, so you got 2 different feeds there for the Carl Albert Midwest City game. It's become a really good rivalry. I recently saw a post from the Midwest City Beacon that back from 2014, it was the first time as of then that they'd played in 18 years. Right. Those 2 schools. They played a couple times then and now, but it's been a regular game since 2018, which I hope it stays that way for quite a while. So Anyway, Coach Norman, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you Friday night and seeing how you guys do. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Del City football coming up right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger now has new premium coffee. That means a brand new taste with new flavors. And it's coming in hot and iced cold. New hot and iced coffee from Whataburger, just like you like it. For the first time ever, Whataburger has iced coffee. So hey, get vanilla iced coffee with breakfast, caramel iced coffee with a snack. And for dinner, how about mocha?
Insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Del Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Time to talk Del City football. We get to be joined, thankfully, once again by Del City head coach Robert Jones. Del City played a 6A1 team this past Friday against Eben Memorial and fell short 35-0. Now, Coach Jones, the score obviously doesn't sound good, but there's a lot of context that's missing from the score.
Yes.
I think I counted 3 drives inside the 30 you guys had where you just came up empty, a couple inside the 10. I mean, you guys did good things on offense, even though the score doesn't indicate that. You had defensive stops, but Eben Memorial had some big plays that led to and one of them was on defense. So, but how would you what was your message to your team after that game, and how do you feel about their performance overall?
Well, you know, starting off, when you lose your offensive coordinator 4 days before the season, and you lose your offensive line coach 2 days when the season has started, you're always going to have some growing pains. And my message was, I've been in this position before as a player and a coach. You know, I coached at 8 different schools in Texas, and there was plenty of times I were in this position. And as a player, when I was at Carl Albert, we started 1-3 my junior and senior year, and we both won. We won state championships both years. So I felt like all through camp, we didn't play with the physicality that we had in the past, and I felt like it was a sense of complacency among the players and coaches. Like when you have a lot of success, you know, I heard Nick Saban speak on this. When you have success, people think it's easy and you think that you can just continue to go, but it's hard having that standard and continue to set it. So I think that loss really woke our kids up. I think it woke our coaches up as well. And it showed everybody that, hey, nobody's going to lay down for Del City. We have to continue to do the things that put us in a position where everybody's respecting our program. Then I also seen the positives of, you know, when I looked at the stat line, because after the game I was just like, man, we got our butts whooped. And we really did. I mean, you got to give it up to Eben Memorial. They came out and they hit us in the mouth and we didn't respond. And that's a big-time win. You know, I believe we won our last 10 home games. We had the best year in a long time at Del City, winning the most wins in the history of the school and making the state championship for the first time in 47 years. So the expectations were high, but it's a lot of positives coming out of that game as well. I look at the total plays. We had 65 total plays. Eben Memorial had 36. Total yards, we had 286. They had 248. Passing yards, we had 141. They had 100 passing yards. Rushing, we had 145. They had 148. And this is the big indicator that really showed me that we moved the ball well. We just didn't take care of the red zone. We had 17 first downs, and they had 11. And we got in the red zone 4 times. And I didn't do a good job as an offensive coordinator. It was my first game. I've been coordinating the offense for 10 days. We got in the red zone 4 times. I got to do a better job of coming over red zone packages that we can't get in there. And I think the game's different. And also not turning the ball over. We had 2 crucial turnovers. One was for an interception for touchdown, and one of them was we set them up inside the red zone at the 4-yard line. So we take care of those mistakes. And the positive is the kids learn the offensive system for 10 days to be able to get those kind of yards, to get have those kind of success and sustain those type of drives against a 6A1 team 2 divisions above us. When we get down to 5A, I think that it's going to really show that we're moving in the right direction. So I'm excited about this week. I'm excited to get back out there to show where we're at. Obviously, you want to win every game, but non-district is to get you in position to be prepared to get into district and take care of business so you can get your playoff sitting and we can get back to that state championship game.
The 2 drives you had inside the 10, 2 of your first 3 possessions, was there any thought to kicking a field goal on 4th down?
At the time, I just didn't feel we have a field goal kicker, and I think he can obviously handle it, but they were getting so much penetration up the middle. I just felt like at that time I feel like they may get a block. And honestly, I was kind of like, hey, we're at this point in the season where we're trying to build an identity, and I want our identity to be, hey, we're going to score when we get inside the red zone. So I really wanted to send a message to the kids, and it kind of backfired on me. But that's part of the process. That's part of me learning how to be a coordinator. And that's part of those kids learning how to have pride once you get in the red zone and taking care of business.
And one of the ways we have to give credit to Edmond Memorial, because I know you need to have,
great football team.
But some of the talent on the team, their quarterback is a Division I. He's going to Kansas next year.
Absolutely.
So, he can throw the ball in ways that most quarterbacks you'll see cannot.
Yes, sir.
And then their first touchdown, they run this elaborate package, I think, where they have a bunch formation, then they spread, and they bring out an offensive lineman as a pass receiver short. And then that tight end that they threw it to is just a bull. I mean, it's just such a physical guy. And that's how they got their first touchdown, kind of an elaborate play. I don't know how many times you'll see something like that.
Yeah.
Their running back was short but so strong.
Absolutely.
I don't know, again, I'm sure he reminded some of your guys of Rodney last year.
Absolutely. Yes,
so,
sir.
I mean, that's those challenges, those are things that, they may not see that often again. They probably will at some point in the playoffs maybe, but those are some really tough players to go against.
Yeah, obviously we trade film every week, so we got to see them play against Carl Albert, and I saw how they kind of control the line of scrimmage against Carl Albert. We all know what kind of great team they are, so I knew it would be a battle coming into there. And like you mentioned, their quarterback, he's the number 1 quarterback in the state. He's going to a Power 4 conference team with Kansas, so obviously he's a 3-year starter, similar to what we had in River, so we all know what comes with that when you have that experience. And they had an offensive line that was great. And we're not used to seeing those type of offensive linemen in 5A, but it was good for us to get used to that physicality, especially we got a lot of new starters. Last year we had a historical team with a lot of guys that had played for multiple years on the varsity level. That was a lot of guys' first time playing in that type of atmosphere, that first time playing against that type of opponent. So it was a great learning experience for those guys, and also for our coaches. That was a great learning experience for them as well. I feel like once you get into the 6A1 and 6A2, the schemes are a little bit more different, and I feel like they're a little bit more elaborate, so you have to be prepared and have to plan a little bit more. So it was a great learning experience for our players and coaches as well. So I think moving forward, that game's only going to benefit us. And like I said, we've been hearing everybody pat us on the back for 8 months. How great of a team we were, how great of a season we had. And sometimes when you get those pat on the backs, you start to feel yourself, you start to get complacent. So I think that was a wake-up call for our kids to let them know that, hey, you have the DC on your helmet, but that's earned every year, and you've got to show up and play because it's not people. We're going to be people's Super Bowl. So Edmond Memorial celebrated on that field, and rightly so. They earned it, and they deserved it, and Coach Meredith did a great job.
And you mentioned River Warren. You have him on the sideline still as he's kind of waiting before he goes off to college, I think, next semester. That's got to be kind of nice, actually, that you can rely on him now, especially since you had to have a shakeup with the offensive coaching. And what type of role do you see him having?
Honestly, he was just a role as a friend of the teammates, and he was a role as a friend of mine. He was not in no coaching position. I think the captain actually said that he was calling the plays.
He was calling, but
yeah, absolutely. He's not calling the plays.
Okay.
I mean, I got 19 years of experience. I'm not going to let a kid who hadn't even played in college come up and call the plays for my program. But he did do a good job helping our kids throughout the week, just talking to them, motivating them. But I was calling the plays. Rivers leaving this week. He's leaving on Wednesday to go get ready to go back to California and train because he'll start at Montana State in January. So he just played a role as a mentor to our kids. He didn't do any coaching responsibilities. It was a great role for him to be there and for the kids to see that.
Yeah.
And like you said, it helps me out a little bit taking over offensive coordinator with 10 days of preparation. But I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to show that CDEP is not just something we say, it's something we live by, and we'll be able to show it this Friday.
All right, now let's talk to the players. We kind of made them wait a bit here. Who do we got with us?
We got Cash Cordner. He's our new starting quarterback. He's a sophomore. He's moving over from us from Tuttle.
Okay.
He had a great game last week. He was our offensive player of the week for Dale City. He had 141 yards passing and 52 yards rushing. He's doing a great job. He's getting to the mode where we want him to be. Then we got Travis Kelly. He's a linebacker and a tight end for us. Obviously, his dad is a defensive coordinator. He's a 3-year starter. He plays a vital role for us. He's a captain. Then we have Rickland Holmes, running back and linebacker. Obviously, Rickland's ranked the number 1 linebacker in his class, and he's also a running back that people are going to see this year that he's one of the better running backs in the state. He has multiple 4 offers, Oklahoma State, Washington State, just to name a few, and he's also one of our captains as well.
All right, so bear with us here. We're going to have a little bit of headset exchange going on between those 3 guys, but I can't wait to talk to all 3 of them. Cash, I'm going to start with you here. So you come from Tuttle, and I wouldn't dare ask about anything bad about Tuttle, but what made Del City appealing? What was the positives about coming to Del City, and what have you liked so far?
Just a really good team. We went back and watched film from last year, and it's just the discipline and just the coaching staff that we looked into just persuaded us to go there.
And then Coach said you're a player of the game, and you made a couple of throws I was real impressed with because you were under pressure, and you had to stand in the pocket, take your lumps, and deliver a ball that got to the receiver. And you converted a couple of 3rd and longs, at least, if not, I don't know how many total. I remember the 3rd and 14 you got there. That also was impressive on the run there. How do you feel about your first game as an Eagle? And I don't know if you saw any action last year as a freshman, but was this your first varsity start?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so there had to be some nerves, I would imagine.
Yeah, usually I go into the game. I wasn't nervous, but I had butterflies because it was first varsity start. Once we got out there, started getting to a roll. That first drive when we got all the way down to I think the 6-yard line, like that all kind of cleared out of my system because I knew we were running.
Yeah. See, I mean, people say there's no such thing as moral victories, but even though you come up with no points, and that's something that you could easily get down about. I would imagine that getting that close to the end zone, you had to get some more confidence in yourself, even though you didn't like the result. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. I definitely thought we were going to punch it in. We drove all the way down there. I think we got like 3 or 4 first downs on that first drive, and it got me feeling confident in our team.
All right, I'm going to talk to Rickland next because he has a headset on, and then we'll get to Jarvis here in a second. Rickland, I mean, you became a big name on this team last year amongst a team that was senior loaded and all that. And now you're still only a junior, but how do you feel about how you developed this from last year to this year? In what ways would you say you're a better player?
From last year to this year, I would think I've just been studying the game more. I'm more of a student of the game than I have been in the past years. I'm understanding more of tendencies. I'm starting to study tendencies of teams, and I'm just more coached up. It's a testament to my coaching. And my coaches, Coach Jarvis, Coach Jones, all of the coaches, really. They've just been coaching me up. And
I'm always interested in the challenge in high school you don't see in the NFL. You really don't see much in college except with a guy like, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Travis Hunter.
Yep.
He plays so many snaps for Colorado, and it's amazing to me because he plays the positions where he has to run a lot.
Yeah.
In your case, you got to be physical a lot, so that exerts a lot of energy. And you're obviously one of the best options at running back, and you're obviously maybe the best linebacker on the team. How do you feel about your conditioning as far as you playing on both sides of the ball, and how did that go Friday?
My conditioning, It wasn't the best Friday, but as practice has went on this week, I can start. I'm starting to see my conditioning get better, and I think I'm ready to go both sides on Friday.
Well, you think if the weather gets cooler, it might be easier for you to go both sides?
Yes, sir. I think that played a big part.
And Coach, what do you think? I mean, Rick, again, that is the interesting challenge. I think Carl Albert might have that with a player like Caden Davis.
Yeah.
You know, you have a running back who's so good, but he's also good on defense, and that takes a lot out of you, both the positions he plays.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think you can condition, obviously, in summer pride and in the fall camp, but I think the only way you could really condition and get ready for it is game type experience. Because I went both ways in high school. It's nothing that can prepare you for that.
Yeah.
The only thing that can prepare you for that is actually being in the game, going through the emotions, going through having to make those blocks on offense and running the ball, then making those tackles and pursuing the ball on defense. So you can do it all day in practice during fall camp, and like I said, you can condition in summer pride. But the only way you're really going to get the true experience and get where you need to be is actually going through game time experience. So with a game underneath his belt, I think we're going to see a different running back next week. I think we're going to see a different linebacker, and I'm really excited to see it.
All right, let's get the headset to Jarvis here so we can there we go. The quarterback's making the pass here of the headset. Okay.
No interceptions.
Yeah. It's a clean handoff.
Yep.
Jarvis, remind me, what year are you? Junior or senior?
Senior.
Senior, okay.
Talk up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, move your microphone a little bit closer to your mouth.
Right here.
There you go. Okay, so talk about your comfort level as a senior, because you've been through it a lot, and you have your dad to coach you individually as well if you need it. But talk about, how this is maybe how comfortable you are, I should say, as a senior out there.
Me being a senior, I'm very comfortable out there. I still get butterflies before the game, even versus Memorial.
That's fine.
A new team. We've seen Choctaw the last 3 years, so it was a new team. With my dad coaching me, he'd been pushing me hard, especially since I came back from an ACL recovery, and even Coach Jones pushed me hard, making me walk a mile every day, jog a mile every day when I could, and they made me real comfortable back on the field after my ACL recovery, and where I could feel full speed, and I'm still getting back to 100%.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of Edmond Memorial's physicality? I mean, again, I don't know how many 5A teams will see that against. I'm sure some of the good ones that you'll play eventually you will, but what was that challenge like? Not just because they're 6A1, but they're obviously a good team no matter what class they're in.
They were pretty physical, I can't lie.
Yeah.
I think at times we could be physical with them up front, especially in the front seven, blitzing and just going downhill in the D-line working. But Friday they was pretty physical, and I don't know how many 5A teams will be as physical, but I know a couple will when we see down the line.
Okay. And as a senior, have you thought about what you want to do next year as far as football or college goes?
Yes. Right now I'm hoping for a college opportunity to play football somewhere, anywhere, honestly, and get a degree in sports medicine.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Sir.
You can be a trainer then.
Be my trainer.
We need good trainers out there.
Nobody ever get hurt.
All right. And Ricklin, when it comes to college, you may have some good options. Maybe sure we keep the mic close to you there. But you've already started to get C1 offers, correct?
Yes, sir, I have.
That has to be thrilling, I would imagine.
Yes, it has been a very fun experience.
Do you have any official visits coming up?
I don't have any planned as of right now. We're going to start looking at that towards the end of the football season.
Okay. You're only junior, so you can wait. Remind us, though, who showed interest in you?
Washington State, OSU, UNT.
I thought there was one more Big 12 school, but
Iowa State.
That's what I was thinking.
You better write those down.
I have them written down.
Those are good options. You can. There'll be some big-time competition no matter where you go, but definitely the Big 12 schools in Washington. I don't even know what conference Washington State's in, but they're still a Division I program, so they're still going to play good competition. So I'll be interested to see where you go there. All right, another question here for Cash. So we'll have another pass there. But Cash, I imagine you would have a chance to work some with River.
Yes, sir.
Warren.
Yes, sir.
And has he shown you some things that have been useful?
Yeah, he's actually helped me with my form a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just helped me learn the offense really well, like what I'm reading, the player I'm reading on defense, how to break apart the coverages. It's been a big help.
It's a great luxury to have. All right, let's look ahead to Booker T. Coach, remember the last time that you guys didn't do great on week one was 3 years ago, your first game against Booker T, and they just exploded in the third quarter, and then you guys lit 6A2 up on fire the rest of that season. So that's something that you can look back at there and be like, hey, we overcame that. But now you're going to go to Booker T, and this is a rivalry you've had going every year since the Oklahoma Sports Network's had Del City games, whether it's in the postseason or home and home.
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel about Booker T this year, especially since they're going to be gunning for you guys because you really got them good last year?
Well, they're a great football team. Historically, I remember we had to play them in the semifinals when I was in high school. We played them in the semifinals, and we had to beat them to get to the state championship, and that was the best high school team I've seen as a player and coach. I think they had like 9 Division I players, 3 or 4 players played in the NFL. So historically, they have always been a great team. They always have great athletes. They're a splitting image of us. It's kind of like when we played Midway City. They're a lot similar to us. They're fast. They're physical. Their athleticism makes up for a lot of mistakes that they make, kind of similar to how we are. They have a great quarterback who's returning. He got injured versus us last year. I think he broke his leg, but he's returning. They have a new head coach. You could tell that they're physical. You could tell that they're more disciplined. You could tell that they know what they're doing. The score against Muskogee really didn't indicate how well they played at the beginning of the game. So it's a great challenge for us. It's going to be a rocking atmosphere, even though we're both 0-1, 0-1. A lot of teams, a lot of people, a lot of fans are going to be looking to that game because it's a lot of big-time players, and it's a great matchup. So we're excited about it. We understand what's on the table. We understand it's another opportunity for us to get better. Non-district is an opportunity for us to prepare as a team and prepare mentally and physically to continue to get better at our schemes, continue to mesh as a family. So we want to use these opportunities to continue to prepare ourselves for this district championship run that we're about to get into. So we're excited to get on the roll for the Turnpike battle against Booker T. This is a battle and rivalry that I want to continue to have because I think the fans deserve it. My coaching style is similar to Coach Rose. I'm always going to schedule hard non-district games because I know we can schedule people who we can beat easily, but I want to go against the best team so we can prepare ourselves for the season and what's to come.
And they're now back in 5A.
Yes, sir.
And they're in District 3, so that's a possible first-round playoff matchup.
Absolutely.
So because you'll play a team if you win the playoffs from District 3 in the first round. Just depends on how the seeding goes. Cash, again, this is a good quality opponent that maybe you don't see as much of a Tuttle, but these high-level athletes here for Booker T, what do you think?
I think we can beat them. I really do. I think that we're going to be working our butts off this week in practice. We've already hit it hard for 2 days straight. We're going to go hard for the next 2. Prepare for them Friday. We watch film. We're breaking down film every morning and every day after practice. So I think we're going to be prepared for them.
Okay, hand it off your headset if you don't mind one more time to Jarvis. Rick Lynn, I'll ask you next.
You better back that up.
Booker T, I'm sure you remember just how you guys were coming off that rough Choctaw ending. You guys were really inspired in that game last year. I'm sure they haven't forgotten about it. What do you think?
I think last year, coming off the Choctaw game, it really pushed us. We really had something to prove after the Choctaw game. And I feel like Booker T was just a great game to come off of.
And so this year you think they'll be gunning for you?
Yes, sir. I think they will be, and I'm ready for them.
Okay, Jarvis, what do you think about Booker T? They obviously – you don't expect them to be – if they were a little down last year, you don't expect it to last. So what do you think about this year?
I think this year going to be a dogfight. I think we can come out on top. I don't expect them just to lay down because nobody's just going to lay down for Del City, but I think it's going to be a dogfight, and we're going to come out on top this year.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're looking forward to that game on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Captain Kilty, Colton Fleetwood, and more will be making the drive to Tulsa to bring you that game. The Hornets and the Eagles playing again. They've been playing every year for quite a while. And so, again, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Last question for you guys. The NFL season is about to begin in 2 days. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl? Ricklin, start with you.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh.
Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, I think they're going to miss Jason Kelsey a lot. Jarvis.
The most experience, so Chief Kingdom. I ain't going to lie.
The Chiefs. The three-peat. I like that. All right. Let's hear Cash. What do you think?
I know I'm going to get called a bandwagon, but first ever football team I played on was the Chiefs, so I've been a Chiefs fan since. So go Chiefs.
I'm hoping they do it. I'm rooting for a three because it's never been done in the Super Bowl era. Although the Packers did win a couple, and then as part of a three-peat. Coach Jones, what do you think?
America's team, Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys, who didn't do much in the offseason, but maybe they didn't need to.
We was 13-4. We didn't have to do much. We're gonna go bring it home this year.
Okay.
Finally.
The Cowboys. All right. Well, we'll definitely have a lot of the games on here. All right. Well, I thank all you guys for joining us. I can't wait to watch your game against Booker T. And good luck. Go bring home a victory. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We want to thank the Del City Eagles here for joining us. More to come on the Mid-Dell Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Dell teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Dell Coaches Show, and we've got a very special segment coming up here as we get to talk Carl Albert volleyball, starting with their head coach, Tabitha McRae.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, thank you for coming back here, and I really appreciate your availability here because I know that, like the other volleyball teams, you'll be busy most Tuesdays. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. This is our first one we've had off for a couple weeks.
So we're glad we can take advantage of that. It's one of the things we have to kind of adjust to as we move venues. Tuesday is the time we have the coaches show this year. So I know you guys had a big win against Choctaw. I think you're down 2-1.
Yes.
And that, especially since you rely on polling for your seeding, that has to be a massive win.
Yeah, it was a huge win, not only for our seating situation and record, but also just for the girls as far as the hard work they've been putting in this season to finally have it pay off against the big team.
Let's talk about this team you're coaching here because, like most teams, you got some seniors you got to replace, you got some new players that need to step up. How's that looking? First, with how many seniors you had to replace or other players, and how the players that have had to get more playing time have been doing.
So we had to replace 5 seniors, and then we have 5 seniors again this year. So it kind of rolled into that where everybody we brought up stepped into their role really great as far as play time, and our leaders this year really stepped into that role that they didn't step into last year. So we've been able to see them shine, and I think the grit that they have this year, wanting to leave their legacy, has really driven them to be a better team.
And this is your second year as that coach, Carl Albert?
It is.
What was something that, I mean, you're not new to coaching volleyball, but what was something that from last year to this year you may have wanted to do different or, tweak something maybe that you didn't do the year before?
I think the first year coming in, I really looked more at the end goal, like we got to get to state, we got to get to regionals, instead of game by game and changing things as they come. But our first meeting with the girls, we really realized instead of, obviously we want to go to state, that's every team's goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this year we had to really notice we need to stay on task for each game, and we have to outperform our level from the game before. And I think that was my biggest change that I made this season.
And I looked at your results so far. I think you played a really good Lawton MacArthur team and lost, and then you won a rematch against them.
Right.
At your tournament, correct?
Yes, and then we play them again this Thursday.
Okay, so you'll see them a lot. But that has to be a good feeling when you lose to a team and then you play them again and you improve on that.
Yeah, it is, and especially just for the girls making the corrections. They watched a team that beat them. They found the drive to now, okay, they beat us. We can either let them beat us again or we can find the grit to give it to them. And I think they really did that and made the changes they needed to do.
Okay, so let's talk to some of the players. We have, again, like with the Del City football players, 3 players, 2 headsets, so bear with us. We may pass 1 or 2 of them around, but who do we have with us right here?
You have Kaylee Stewart.
Oh, hold on, let me turn you on first.
Okay.
Okay, Kaylee Stewart. And we'll start with you then, since you already stepped up to the mic there. Kaylee, so you're a senior, correct? I mean, you're all seniors.
Sir.
What's your position?
I'm an outside hitter.
And for those of us not familiar with volleyball, what does outside hitter mean? What would you say your primary role is?
Getting the third ball over and putting the ball down.
So you spike it.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
And as a senior, how do you feel like you might be better this year than you were last year?
I think it's just everybody stepping up and playing their parts and being there for each other to lift each other up, honestly.
I imagine someone who spikes the ball, you have some good hops. You can jump up really high.
I have a lot of power.
Oh, the power. That's it. You're a power player.
Yeah.
And how much time do you spend practicing that, just on an individual basis?
Like an hour and a half a day.
Hour and a half a day. Okay. All right. And who do we have over here?
Brooklyn Carpenter.
Brooklyn Carpenter, and what is your position?
I'm a right side hitter.
Okay, so is it similar to Kaylee?
Yes, just on the right side.
On the right side. And are you both right-handed?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a different challenge spiking from one side to the other?
I would say so, yes.
And how do you feel like you've gotten better now that you're a senior from last year to this year?
I feel like I have just more confidence in myself and with the team I'm playing with. We all come together as a team, and I think that's what's helped us the most and helped me the most is just being confident in myself and my team.
All right, and who do we have here in the red shirt?
Kristen Stoser.
Kristen Stoser. All right, and what is your position?
I'm also an outside hitter.
Okay, so you 3 rotate then at different times. Again, I'm not as familiar with volleyball as others. But what side do you normally start out then?
I'm also on the left side, just like Kaylee. We just rotate around. Whenever she's back row, I'm front row. Whenever she's front row, I'm back row.
As a senior, are you more vocal now than maybe you were last year?
I think I'm definitely a lot more vocal now because all the younger girls look up to us, especially our seniors. So I think it's more important for us to talk and be more vocal for all the younger girls.
Now, Coach, while football's kind of just getting started, volleyball's been going on for quite a bit, but I'm still curious, what was the summer like for you this year? Did you get to make an out-of-state trip like Midwest City did, or did you have any cool experiences as a team over the summer?
Yeah, so we did our team camp this year in Kansas, which was the first time because we're normally at OBU. So this was our first time to go there, and I think we got to see some really tough competition that prepared us better for the season to come.
All right, we're in Kansas.
Wichita State.
Okay, so Wichita State, also known as the Shockers. And Yeah, that sounds like if you're going to a D1 school, I imagine that there's quite a few quality high school programs, and probably some names that we're not familiar with because they're from other states, I would imagine.
Yeah, we saw a lot of teams from Texas, Kansas, and there was 2 from Arkansas.
Very good. And did you come away very happy with what you saw from your team?
I did. I left with a lot of high hopes in that they were able to meet the goals we had set for team camp, and then they just surpassed them during that time.
All right, so Kristen, what was that experience like going to Kansas? How many days were you there? Do you remember?
Were we there for 2?
Yes.
2 days. It was a lot different because since freshman year we've been going to OBU, and this was our first time going out of state for just camp. But this camp was definitely I think it was a lot more beneficial for our girls because the competition was so much harder. And it was just a lot more fun. I think it was fun being able to be in hotel rooms instead of just the dorm rooms. And I think we all grew a lot whenever we were in Wichita compared to whenever we were at OBU. It was a good camp.
I would imagine you had a lot of fun, like on the bus ride.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean I like hearing about stuff like that, getting a chance to, go make a trip to places you're not used to, and I imagine it's good team building for sure. Brooklyn, what do you think about the trip?
I think it was like Kristen said, there was a lot of good teams there, and that's what I think we got better at is with all these good teams, and it was like super fun. We all did grow as a team, and we did really well together.
All right, and same question for Kaylee. Do you have any particular fond memories from that trip, whether it's the eating out somewhere, hotel stay, the bus rides? What do you think?
I just thought it was a lot of fun, with everybody there and just the bus rides and stuff.
Okay, and Kaylee, now back to the season. Do you have a particular, I mean, we talked about a couple of your big wins, but do you have a particular moment for you maybe as an individual player, or it could be a team accomplishment? Like what was been a good highlight for you so far?
I would have to say the Choctaw game for myself and our team because they're literally our biggest rival, and we were down, and then we came back and we won. And I don't know, putting the ball down for the last point just brought me up like so much.
For sure. Brooklyn, what do you think?
I would probably say Choctaw or the 2 tournaments that we've been. Just winning that silver division in both tournaments did really feel good for our teams, but Choctaw was probably the best game that we've had, and that I felt like we all played as a team really well together too.
All right. And Kristen?
I also am going to have to go with the same thing that both of them said. The Choctaw game really was probably my favorite game that I've played in all of my high school years. Like, the energy that both sides of the court have, because a lot of the Choctaw girls and Carl Albert girls are friends. Like, we played together our whole lives. It was fun because they are our biggest rivals, and we know all the players, and it was a really fun game.
So you had some friends on the other side that and you enjoyed devastating them, basically.
It was fun. They were happy afterwards too, and we were happy afterwards. We all played a good game.
Well, that's what competition is. Coach, where's some big dates you have coming up? Some good matchups that people can look forward to.
So we'll have the Lawton MAC, but it'll be an away game. We have Noble also this weekend, a tournament there that we'll see Westmore and Newcastle and Noble, so there'll be some good, tough competition. Our next home game, I think that would be great, should be the 12th, Tecumseh. And I don't think you guys have seen them as a team before. So it should be a fun atmosphere with a team. Neither one of us know what to expect from each other besides just watching film.
Now, the interesting thing is, for volleyball, is you rely on rankings.
Right.
For your seeding. And right now I think you're ranked 7th?
We are.
Okay, so what are your goals for that? What would you like to get up to, and is there a certain number you have to get to maybe host or something like that?
Right, so anything above 8, the top 8 host ranking, or host regionals.
Okay.
So ultimately our goal is just to not drop below 8. And I think they're a better team than 7, but also, like I said, I want each game to prove that for them. So if we can end up the top 5, I think that's ultimately my goal for them.
All right. And Kristen, what are some dates you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to our Noble tournament this weekend. I think that'll be really fun. I know Westmore is a very good team, and that they're going to give us some really tough competition. I think that'll be really fun. And then, like Tabitha said, what team was it? Tecumseh. We've never seen Tecumseh before. I've barely ever heard of Tecumseh, but I hope that they bring us some good competition, and because that's our next home game, and our student section has been showing out for our home games recently, so I think it'll be a good game.
And who's your senior night against?
Del City.
Okay, Del City Eagles. All right. Tecumseh, I know they're near Shawnee, so but that'll be interesting to see. And then if you could pass the headset over here, and Brooklyn, what do you think? Is there a particular matchup you have coming up you're looking forward to?
Probably Lawton Mac again, just because I feel like it's so fun playing them. It's just always a close game, and winning again would be very nice. And also our Noble tournament, like Kristen said, Westmore is a good team, so if we can pull out that win against them, that'll be big for us.
All right, and Lawton Mac is interesting because I know, I know they've come to Carl Albert before and ranked really high. So I know that's probably one of your best rivals, I would assume. So as they're another school that's good in a lot of different sports in 5A. All right, Kaylee, what about you? Any particular dates you're looking forward to?
September 26th, our senior night.
Okay.
I'm just ready to play and have fun with all the seniors for our senior night, because I know every other senior night all the seniors have got together and got to play and made so many memories, because it was every single senior out on that court together. And there's 5 of us, so there's a position for each of us.
All right, very good. Well, and it's senior night, but I know what you're hoping for, and I think you're in good shape for this. It won't be your last home game. So, ladies, thank you very much for joining us. We hope to keep tabs on how you're doing, and, definitely if you can make a stay, we hope to talk to you some more.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you on. All right, it's going to do it for our show tonight, so we want to thank all the coaches and players who came on. Remember, you got a lot of options on the Oklahoma Sports Network this Friday. 2 different broadcasts for Midwest City at Carl Albert. And then also we will have Del City at Booker T as well. The games kick off at 7. Pregame is at 6:30. I want to thank Alicia again for producing, Bernie for making the long walk here to be a camera operator, and we really appreciate their help. Thanks for watching. Again, it's the Mid-Del Coaches Show right here, the Bricktown Brewery, Midwest City, on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.